welcome back to my channel. Today we're gonna do a chit chat, get ready with me. So this is the look that I've been doing. It's really quick and easy, just one eyeshadow on the lid, blended out, eyeliner, mascara, obviously foundation, powder, and lips. Hello. So I'm gonna start off with primer. Right over here is the NYX primer. I always use this. This hydrates my skin and it feels really good. This is definitely my 5th tube of this. I kind of wish it came in a bigger size because I absolutely love it, and it just feels so refreshing on the skin, and it moisturizes without feeling too heavy or greasy, because I used to think I was just oily, but then I started getting dry patches around this area and my nose area, and that's why I decided to get this kind of hydrating moisturizer, because the rest of my skin is still pretty oily. So during this tutorial, I'm going to try to tell you guys what I'm using. I'm using a mattifying primer, and I'm going to just talk about my high school experience. I went to high school about 8 years ago. That is when I graduated. I graduated in 2009, and back then things were a little bit different. Social media was pretty big, but nowhere as big as it is now. I had to run home after school and make sure no one was on the phone, and I would have to connect, and the little box would come up on the screen, the computer screen, and it was the dial tone. So it was the AOL internet, I think it was AOL, I'm not too sure, but you had to, like, you would hear the all the noise. It was kind of funny. So yeah, that's how I would go online when I was a kid, when I was in high school, middle school, more high school, because when I was in 9th grade, I think that's when I created my MySpace profile, and you had AOL Messenger, or AIM Instant Messenger, I think that's what it was called. So that's how you basically would communicate with your friends, because even back then text messages were so expensive, and I remember like having to watch out how many text messages I would send out, because you could only send out a certain amount, I think. I'm not sure, it was such a long time ago, but like 10 years ago actually, because 8 years ago is when I graduated. So 10 years ago I was like a junior or a sophomore in high school. So definitely social media was not as big, it wasn't as accessible. Kids had phones, but it just wasn't like that, like it is now. So basically, in high school, you would get teased for just anything. I remember specifically this girl, like, you had to do a lot of oral presentations, so you know, you had to stand up and speak in front of the class, even though I hated to do that, because I couldn't project my voice loud enough. So it was always like, what did you say? Can you say that again? I didn't hear you. Or I wouldn't get good grades sometimes, because the teacher wouldn't hear me. So I had to learn to project my voice in order for me to get good grades on my presentation, because almost every class has some sort of public speaking, or you have to speak in front of everyone. But you know, if I know a lot of people struggle with that, struggle with getting up in the middle of the class or in front of the class and publicly speaking, but what I recommend is to just put yourself out there. So what I did is, for one of my electives, I chose to do public speaking, so that helped me a lot. I'm pretty sure it was every week you had to do an oral presentation, and that kind of helped me break my shell. I wasn't so nervous. Of course, in the beginning I was so nervous. My heart was beating so fast. And let me backtrack with how I got bullied. This girl, very loud girl in class, disrespected the teacher. I mean, I don't remember who she was, honestly, but I just remember her saying, "Wow, your voice is so annoying." And I'm just like, I think I said something back to her smart, because yes, I was quiet, but I didn't really let people talk like that to me. I was like, "That's my voice, what do you want me to do?" I remember saying something like that, or I rolled my eyes at her, but I just didn't let her think that she could just say something like that to me in front of everyone and think that was okay. That you guys just saw me put on this foundation. It is the Dior Skin Forever foundation. So I do work a full-time job, and I need to make sure that any foundation that I wear is super long lasting, because I don't do touch-ups. I don't have time to do touch-ups. You're in high school to learn things. You're in high school to get an education, and education should be taken seriously, because we're so lucky that we have free education in the United States. I know there's so many things going on right now. There's so many things going on right now that are so negative, but I've always tried to look at the positive side of things. And there's a lot of people in this world, this entire world. There's a lot of kids that don't have the same opportunities as we do in the United States. So you have to take advantage of the free education. So in 11th grade, I took economics for the first time, and I loved it. I loved everything about it. I was so interested about it. Everyone else in the class would be so bored, would not be interested. And so I'm pretty sure it was either 10th or 11th grade, I realized I want to run a business one day. And that is what I did. I graduated from high school, went to college, didn't finish till recently, which was this year, 2016, and I graduated 2009. That's a whole other story. Trust me, that is a whole other story that will take forever to explain why. But at the end of the day, even though I didn't finish my college career with the people that I graduated with, I still have a really great job, and I'm very happy with my job. And I have learned so much. I've learned so much from running this business owned by someone else who also had a dream, who started from nothing. And basically that's what I want to do. And I also have this passion for business, because when I turned 13 or 14, my dad bought a landscaping business. So I basically helped him run a landscaping business when I was 13, 14 years old. So at first he just started on his own, and he just gathered clients on his own from working over 10 years for a huge landscaping company. So I would go out with him at 13, 14 years old and basically do landscaping with him. And I didn't complain. I was kind of like a tomboy back then for a little bit. I think a couple months after doing that, he was approached with opportunity to purchase an entire company. So this company was already an established company that had over 100 clients, and basically my dad had to pay $30,000 to get the equipment, the landscaping equipment, all the clients, access to their information, their phone numbers, all that. So he bought it. He found a partner, and together they bought it. And at 14 years old, I basically helped him start up the business. So I created a database for him for all the new clients that he was taking on, which was over 100 clients. And at that young age, I spent my entire summer writing invoices, printing invoices, sending out invoices, talking to customers all day long about estimates and setting up dates where my dad could go. And yeah, that was me at 14 years old. So that also lit a fire when I took an economics class, because I definitely had this drive for businesses, but since I only had done a landscaping business, that wasn't my passion. Landscaping wasn't my passion. But when I realized I could take the business aspect that I loved and put it into my passion, when I realized that I could do that, I knew that was the route that I wanted to go into. So when you're in high school, that's the time where you need to experiment and decide what you want to do. You don't have to decide right then and there, but trust me, once it comes to you, it's gonna hit you like a train, and you're gonna know that's what you want to do. Because not everyone wants to run a business. Not everyone wants the responsibility of running a large company or being a manager, managing people. Not everyone wants to do that, and everyone has their own passions. So, some people, they just want to work for an amazing company. Some people want to be the amazing company and start it on their own, have their own name on. And you can honestly, if you put your heart and your soul into something, because you could do something and not put your heart and not put your soul into it, and then you wonder why it's not successful or why you can't succeed at it, you need to ask yourself, did I really put my entire soul into this, or did I just half-ass it? Things don't come easy, okay? It may seem like it's easy because maybe if you have someone you look up to, you're just seeing the end results. You're not seeing the struggles that person went through to get to where they are. So think about that. It's not gonna be easy. Don't make your whole high school experience revolve around friends. Now, if you can manage to focus on friends and still, make good grades in school, then that's perfectly fine. But don't let that distract you from what you're there to do. So you're there to get an education. You're there to start realizing what your passions are, whether it's sports or art. When I was in high school, I did a lot of, after I got rid of my public speaking fear, I joined the drama club, and I actually did one comedy play my senior year, and I also did a musical. So I was part of one of the musicals, and it was awesome. I love the arts, I love fashion, I love makeup. That's my passion at the same time. So is running a business. So I'm definitely working on that career right now. And my career at the moment basically revolves around fashion and business, but I want, which is great, but I do want to venture into the beauty aspect of my career. So because beauty is a huge part of my life, and I want to be able to just live my passion. I'm using this palette that you can get right now. Pretty sure it's still on the Forever 21 website, but it's a really good palette. I mean, I have a very strict dad, so since I'm the oldest and I'm a female, he didn't really let me do anything after school. He always thought I was with a boy, or that I would be lying to him if I was after school. So when I was in 9th grade, I wanted to join a sport, so I tried out for volleyball. I think it was 9th or 10th grade. I tried out for volleyball. I let him know I was going to be staying after school for tryouts, and he was okay with that. But after I made the team, I had to stay after school more consistently, and he just couldn't let me stay after school. He didn't trust me. He thought I was going to be out doing something bad, hanging out with bad people, even though I didn't really give him a reason to. He just assumed. And after I made the team, once I made the team, I had to obviously keep going to practice, and then we would have our games. So we had we had a scrimmage first before an actual game, and we ended up coming home really late for my dad's standards. I got home at 8 o'clock at night, and he was so mad. He was super upset. He was angry. He was yelling, and basically that night that I got home at 8 p.m. he told me that I had to quit. So I was crying. I was so mad. And then the next day I had to go to my coaches that my dad wouldn't let me play anymore, and they were also upset. They were trying to tell me, like, do you want me to talk to your dad? Do you want me to call him? Like, what can we do? And I'm like, there's nothing you can do. He doesn't believe that I'm at practice. He thinks I'm doing something crazy, that I'm drinking, that I'm smoking, I'm with a boy. That's what he thinks. So there's nothing you can say or do that will make him change his mind. And he will actually just be mad if I have a teacher go and talk to him. It wasn't until my senior year that I started to stand up for myself and basically I would sign up for different clubs and different after school activities, and even if he didn't let me go, I would still go, because I just didn't think it was fair that I was genuinely trying to do something to improve my future and to help me out in my future career, and he wasn't letting me. He was stopping me from doing all these amazing things that high school allows you to do. So my senior year, I joined Chase Leadership Academy, and basically people that would work there would come and they would, do workshops for us, since we were everyone in that leadership academy basically had an interest in business. So, and that's what they wanted to study in college. And then after the program, we all had a surprise. We all got $1,000 scholarship for our school. So they paid $1,000 for our school. It didn't matter which school. We just received $1,000. So these were the opportunities that my dad wasn't allowing me to do. And I had to stand up for myself and say, look, I'm not doing anything bad. And my mom, she would support me. She was just kind of scared to stand up to my dad. But I'm glad at least in high school I was able to do these things, because that ultimately helped me with my college. So I did the Chase Leadership Academy. I did really good in school with my grades, especially my senior year. My senior year, I think I had the best grades out of the whole 4 years. So I had good grades, did the Leadership Academy. I did the drama. I was in the drama club, and I did a comedy in the beginning of the school year, and then at the end of the school year I did a musical with the drama production. I don't remember what else I did, but ultimately I was able to get a 4-year scholarship to a university. And when I received that scholarship, I basically started, it was like an award ceremony, like the end of the year awards. And I went to the award ceremony, and I remember bawling my eyes out in front of everyone else who was there, because my counselor, she told me to apply for the scholarship, but in my mind I'm like, I'm never gonna get this scholarship, like why am I even doing this? But I think they knew they were gonna give me the scholarship or something, because she kept pressuring me, like, turn this in, Cami or Camelia, turn this in, you need to turn this in. And I think I turned it in on like the last day possible, just because I couldn't believe that there was no way someone was gonna give me a 4-year scholarship. Like, there was no way. So I turned in everything that I had to turn in for the scholarship, and at senior awards night, I found out that I had a 4-year scholarship to the university. And of course I had to rub it in my dad's face. I'm like, here, this is what I do in high school. I was able to do so many things towards the end of my high school career, and look at this, I have a scholarship. So he viewed me a little bit differently after I showed him that I got a scholarship, because I know it sounds so bad, but my dad's always been very tough and hard on us, on me in particular, I think more. So like when I told him that I was applying for a scholarship, it was more like, why? They're not gonna give you a scholarship. Why are you applying for a scholarship? Like, he didn't believe that I was gonna get a scholarship. And then I rubbed it in his face, like, here you go, here's my scholarship. I'm not a bad kid at all. I never did any drugs. I never did anything like that. I don't even like to drink. Like, till this day, I'm 26 years old and I don't get drunk. I don't drink. It's just not me. Like, if it's you, it's you. Do you. But for me, I just don't. I have drank before. I think in my lifetime I've only gotten drunk once or twice in 26 years. Once or twice. And that was enough for me to be like, nope, this is not for me. I don't want this. Do I drink a cocktail every now and then? Maybe. So I'm basically done this look. I just added some lip product. So yeah, definitely high school is more like a blur at this age. So I know everything seems like it's such a big deal at the moment, but it has been 8 years since I've graduated high school, and the years have just flown by so fast. Guys, you're there to learn, you're there to find out what you're passionate about and what you want to study in college. You don't have to go to college, but have a plan. I've known so many people, especially in YouTube, seeing a lot of creators from YouTube, from social media, from Instagram. Those careers can happen, but you need to have it planned out. You can't just truly rely that you're gonna blow up on social media. You can't rely on that all the time. But if that's what your focus is on, then give it 110%. Give it 200%. Just do it. If that's what you really want to do, just give it your all.